I'm going to show you how I'm going to be making a super deluxe slider card, and I am going to be using this paper from Michaels. I paid $5 for a 12 by 12 pack. It's called the French Country Stack. And the first die that I'm going to be using is 3 pieces, and I got this from Your Next Stamp, and it will be what I will use to make the slider card. The next die I'm going to be using is from Sherry Baldy. It is called the Romantic Hearts Frame, and I'm going to be using a tag from Joy Crafts. I'm going to be using a heart from SAVVY, Savvy Stamp Company, and that's a heart. And then I'm also going to be using this die from Marianne Designs, and this one is LR0111, and I'm also going to be using Sherry Baldy My Besties stamp, digital stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting it all together, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is get your dies all lined up, and this is the only one that you really need to pay attention to. Again, I said to you, this die came with 3 pieces. I'm taking this piece out, and I'm going to be doing something else with it. You set that aside. But this is how you set up to make your slider card. The edges along here are perforated. They're not solid. And this one down here is just a fold. So basically, you'll see once I cut it out what it looks like, but that is how you set it up on your paper. And make sure that you have it spaced well along the sides. And then the other thing is, this is the one that went on the inside. This is going to be my pull tab. I'm going to use this. It will slide this way. And then I'm going to also add a tag to that. And the tag I'm going to use is going to be the same color, although it could be a different color. But this is a tag, and I'm just going to put that on top of here so that I have more of a pull available to me. This is going to be the base, and it could be just a square, or it could be anything to set on top of this. It could be really anything. I just happen to really like this one for my base. I'm going to add some embellishments, and this is going to be my embellishment to the side of my slider. And I'm also going to be using the frame as part of my embellishment for the base that will sit on the slider. So that's basically it. I'm going to go ahead and cut these all out on my machine. Okay, so you can see why this is a really awesome die and why I'm really excited about it. This is the back side of the die. You can see the perforations better that way. I will open this completely up, and it's kind of hard to see, but there is a fold right there. And then the other thing I'm going to have to do, this is the back side, like I said, it's really this side. And I am going to be scoring this. I'm going to score it almost as close as I can, straight this way, and then find the halfway point between where I score it here and where it's already scored. And I will score it again. So there'll be 2 scores. And I'll show you how that looks when I do that also. And then, again, I'm going to be putting this tag on top of this. Will be the slider door, and this tag will be attached like this. Here's what my heart looks like once I've cut it out of that paper, which I think is kind of awesome. And then this is going to be my base, and you can't really see it on this paper really, really well, but I did emboss and sand the edges of that. And then here's the other die that Sherry Baldy makes. And this is what's really hard for me. You see all these little itty-bitty hearts? It's hard for me to throw those away. I'm going to try to think of how I can use those too, because they're perfect little hearts. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get it put together. Okay, so I've put red line tape on the back, and I'm also showing you where I scored it. If you can see, I scored it right next to the red line tape. I just have to be over far enough so that I can put some tape right there. I did have to cut that little notch out of tape. And then I also have another fold there. This fold comes with the die. So what I did is, once I scored this line, and I'm not giving you the exact dimensions because it's really like not right on the line of telling you what it is. You kind of have to eyeball it, but once you do that, you want to get this as much in half from this space to this space as you can. And even still, it's not going to make a significant amount of difference, but as close as you can to what the center would be. I've also put red line tape here and here. And again, a really important part, you need to leave this space right here so that your slider that extends beyond this perforated line will be able to slide back and forth and not get stuck in this tape. So those are the most important instructions for making the slider card. The other thing I did, like I said, is to extend my slider card a little bit. I added this tag. And what I'm going to do, is this tape is going to be pulled off the back. And like I said, this is a horizontal, not a vertical slider. That will go right there. I will tape that right down perfectly centered onto that. It's going to have to line up perfectly well. Let's see if I can show you again. Whoops, sorry. See how I'm going to have a little bit of space on each side? And that's going to come right up to the edge. The tape's not off, so I can still maneuver it. But that's how that's going to go. And once I do that, it's going to grab a hold of that slider card down there, and it's what's going to pull this whole thing so that it'll stand up. And I'll show you that later. And then once you put that, attach that to that part, you're going to turn it over, and you're going to see, just like I said, there's going to be enough room there so that the slider card will not touch that tape. I'm going to have to make sure that it doesn't, no matter what I do. And then this whole piece, right there, is going to be put on the base. I'm going to sit on the base. And the reason why I didn't bring my tape all the way down to the corners, which you can do if you use a different base, is because of these holes that are in my card base. The tape would show through. So I just try to make it so that it's a little bit more fussy. You don't have to make it fussy, because you can just use a plain square or rectangle rather. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put it together so you can see how the construction works. Okay, so I had to kind of like makeshift my camera to sit on top of something that looks like a tripod. I mean, it is, but it doesn't work for this camera. So I'm trying to make this work so you can see what it is, and so I can use both hands. You can see what I've made so far and how I've attached it right here with the tape. And when it lays flat, it goes like this. This is a tag sticking out the back. In order to make it a slider card, it has to slide and it has to pull. And this won't move once it gets attached to the base that I showed you, but I just wanted you to see when the tag pulls, which I could do much more smoothly if it was attached, but it goes like that. And I'm going to set my image up on here so it'll almost look like an easel card, but it's not. But that's how it works, just like that. I just want to say again how really important it is to have this little bit of space between where your tape is and where the slider is going to be underneath. So on both sides, make sure you have that space right there. So just wanted to let you know. Okay, so I just attached the slider base on top of the bottom base. So you can see what it looks like if it's laying flat. See, it's laying flat, and that's how it will be if it is in your envelope or whatever. Now, once you receive it, you'll be able to just pull this tab behind. I'm kind of giving you the look down here too, and it's almost like an easel card. And what you do is, just like an easel card, you will attach whatever you're decorating right there. And exactly the same as an easel card in terms of adding your picture embellishments. And then again, when it's closed, just push this tab down, just like that, and it lays flat. And so will your picture too, and I'll show you that later, that you put on there. But you can embellish all the way around it. Just make sure you don't have anything in the way of your slider. And that's basically how you make the slider card base. Okay, so I wanted you to see where I put the red line tape on my slider card, so I can put whatever I decorate on, and it will go like that on top of it, and it'll stay on. I just wanted to give you an idea where to put the tape. If you put on the back of what you make, you'd have to do it towards the bottom, but this is pretty easy to know where the tape will go. And again, you can kind of see where the fold was. You know, our first score line was there, And then that's the back. So you can see where that tape goes on there to hold your image or whatever you want to decorate with. And I also stamped right in here. So keep that in mind too. Whatever base you use, you should have it so that you'll be able to stamp on top of that. And that's it. Okay, so I have my card finished, and this is what it looks like totally laying flat. And as you can tell, I've added quite a few embellishments. I was going to tell you a couple of the extra things I did add. So I kind of like show you the side there a little bit. Okay, so I went ahead and I used Martha Stewart's leaf punch. I've used a doohickey vine. It's kind of like, I can't remember if it's a heart vine. I don't remember the name of that one. And then this is the scallop that's around the image. And that was from Lifestyle Crafts, and I know that they've been purchased by, I think it's We Are Memories. And I also used the oval that fits on the inside of that. I'm trying to think of what else. I think that's pretty much it. You can see I've got wild orchid flowers, and this little bit is from Michael's from, I don't know, 2 years ago. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and show you again. Here's my tag and my ribbon in the back, and what you do to pull open your card. And there you have your sliding card. And I'm going to go ahead and go around just a little bit so you can see the back. I was going to say, this is a great place for you to write any type of message that you want for the person, because when they pull it open, they'll be able to read it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I'm hoping to see some links for when you've done your own. Thanks.